Hey gang, in this video, we're gonna get you ready for the 1002 Core 2 A+ exam. Hey gang, I'm Ron from itmastery.com. If you've never been to the channel before, welcome back. I would appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. So as I said at the top of the video, this video is gonna be about passing the 1002 Core 2 A+ exam. So is this right here, what we about to go through, is that enough to pass the A+? Nope, not at all. I want you to watch a video, I don't know, it was a couple weeks, maybe a month or two back, about free stuff, right? About free training. Sorry, somebody's calling me. My life is real. Anyway, about free training, kind of you get what you pay for, right? So this free training is definitely going to be valuable, right? It's definitely going to be beneficial and supplemental to whatever you're currently using, but I don't believe it's going to be enough for you to actually pass the 1002 exam, okay? But let's get straight into it. So if you've never done this with me before, we go through the questions as a family. You see the answers. I give you a little bit of time to try and figure out what the answer is. And I tell you what the answer is, tell you why that is the answer, and then we move along. Okay? So as the banner at the bottom of the screen says, the Zero to IT Hero program is enrolling now. If you've ever seen my videos before, you know what that is. You know about the testimonials. You know about all the damn students that's passing. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay? So right now, let's get straight through the questions. So Linux is a blank operating system, meaning that the original source code is made available to the public. It is open source. So open source means that it's made available to the public, meaning that you can change the configuration, you can change stuff around, and you can kind of make it your own, right? You can customize it to do whatever the hell you want it to do. All right, so Jasmine is using Windows XP and has been using it for several years. She doesn't see any need to upgrade to a newer version of Windows because XP has everything she needs. The last several months, she tried to run updates and they failed. What is happening? So from time to time, whether it's Windows, whether it's Apple, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Apple, whether it's Linux distro, the actual support given to certain operating systems after a while, they don't give it to them anymore, right? So they don't run patches, they don't run updates because they're more focused on newer version, whether it's 7, 10, or now Windows 11. So Microsoft no longer provides support for XP. XP is a lot of people's favorite. They think it's awesome. And you can still run it if you like. Just understand that Microsoft no longer offers patches or anything like that for XP. Apple makes products and devices that are proprietary to the Apple brand. What does proprietary mean in this context? Hopefully you guys got it. So basically stuff that Apple makes is supposed to be used with Apple products, right? Proprietary. Use Apple stuff for Apple stuff. Jalissa just bought a brand new Chromebook. What browser will her device have by default? What browser will her device have by default? Super easy. She'll have Google Chrome. Easy, easy, easy. All right, of the following, which operating system was originally meant for touchscreen mobile devices, then later expanded to all devices? Now, everybody's favorite operating system, Windows 8. I haven't come across anybody ever that thought that Windows 8 was a good idea or enjoyed the experience. I think that Windows 8 didn't go over as well just because it has a lot of compatibility issues and it just was just so far left from what the average Windows experience was. It just was completely different. It just was more of a mobile application as opposed to an operating system. BitLocker is a form of hardening that does what? So BitLocker actually encrypts your entire hard drive, the whole shebang and bang. It encrypts it. Hopefully you guys got that right. Bam. All right, so those other ones are probably, oh man, this shit is easy. Those were some warm-up questions. Here's more of a question I actually expect on the exam. Now, let me preface that with, this is not a damn question from the exam, but the format, right? A lot of times you'll get questions on the exam that ask a long ass question, and a lot of the stuff that's in the question you may not need. So focus on these types of questions if you're actually about to take the exam pretty soon. Jamie is a system administrator with Fuzzy Tech. To save the company money, he's decided to put Windows 7 Starter on all the machines on the network. After Jamie has successfully imaged all the devices, he tries to place the devices on the domain. After several failed attempts to join the devices to the domain, Jamie upgrades all the devices to Windows 10 Enterprise. Once this is done, Jamie adds all the devices to the domain successfully. What was the issue that was causing devices to be unable to get joined to the domain? So that was a long ass question. Let's see if we can figure out what the answer is. If you've learned something so far, if you're enjoying this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with anybody who can benefit from it. Hopefully, you guys picked. Jamie was unaware that Windows 7 Starter machine cannot be added to domains. If you have a starter edition of that operating system, you can't add it to a domain. You have to have an enterprise level or better. Okay. I would like to scroll up a little bit. A technology intended to cache central data to remote or branch offices in order to reduce network traffic and optimize wide area network utilization. What does the above statement best describe? So while we're trying to figure this out, you may be asking, where the hell are these questions coming from? So all the students in the Zero to IT program get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of practice questions, and that's where this is actually coming from, right? So practice questions to kind of give them a little bit of an edge on the exam after they went through all the training. So the answer to this is BranchCache, I think. Let's see. Hold on. Boop. And check. All right, great. I'm not a dumbass. So that's what BranchCache is. Okay, so on the actual exam, some of the questions are kind of going to be like, what is this? But a lot of the questions are going to be like the previous question that we just went over, where it's a really long scenario, okay? Jimmy wants to encrypt all the files in his homework folder. How can he do so using one of the options below? Another thing, I've always harped on this, I've always told you guys this, acronyms, right? You have to be familiar with acronyms, you have to be comfortable with acronyms, you have to know what these acronyms stand for to actually be able to be a sniper inside the testing center. So the students in the Zero to IT Hero program are snipers by the time they get into the damn box, by the time they actually take the exam, because they know exactly what they're looking for, right? You don't want to be fumbling and bumbling and, oh, what the hell does this stand for? What is this? What is that? So, for example, all of these acronyms, right? If you know EFS stands for encryption file system, then it would make stuff too easy. You want to encrypt files? What do I use? EFS, encryption file system. All right, makes sense. All right, so Ronald has placed several ISO files onto his external hard drive. He arranged the ISO files in alphabetical order and OS type. He would like his PC to boot directly from his external hard drive. How can he accomplish this? Once again, gang, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe, and you share it with anybody that it can benefit. Let's see. What does it say? So he would like to boot his PC directly from his external hard drive. I would say boot from USB. Let's see if I'm right. Bam. All right. So you got external hard drive. How's the external hard drive hooked up? With a USB. Janice has created an image file that will be deployed to several devices. She is using a deployment method that allows the devices to boot from the network. Then image files are downloaded directly to the devices from a server. What type of deployment method is Janice most likely using? What do we think? So hopefully you guys said PXE, which is pre-boot execution environment, and it will allow Janice to get those files from the network and automatically upload or download those images of operating systems to her machines. So I've been reading these questions pretty slow. I've been explaining what the answers are, and we're about, I think we started on like number 3. So we're about 10 questions in. So it's taking us a little bit over a minute for each question. So once you get inside the box, most likely you're going to get 80 to 90 questions. The maximum amount of questions you're going to get is 90 questions. So that means that you're only going to have a minute anyway. So you should be able to read the question and decipher what the answer is in under a minute. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of time right now, but if you've studied the way you need to study, if you're in that Zero to IT Hero program, it's going to be more than enough time. Okay, what type of installation will need an answer file? So we got all different types of installations. What type of installation will need an answer file? So an unintended installation will need an answer file. So it's when it's the yes or no stuff that pops up when you're trying to download an operating system or do something. That's what the answer file is for. It has those questions already loaded into it, and it'll have the answer, whether it's yes or no, and then you just upload that answer file. And then when those things pop up, it'll automatically know which one to pick. Okay.